Right, so Police Minister Bheki Cele will engage with residents in Soweto today to include communities in fighting crime. National and provincial police commissioners are expected to be present as residents share their lived experiences. Cele has been visiting crime hotspots in various provinces in recent weeks. Yesterday, he hosted a crime imbizo in Nqobile Park in the Vaal. Residents there urged the minister to intervene to curb the high crime rates in the area. The minister also visited the Marikana informal settlement where residents complained about the police station being far away. Last year, Cele told Parliament of his plans for community policing forums, believing that this will promote cooperation with communities. Of course, Newzroom Afrika's Nqobile Madlala is following that story and joins us live now from Soweto. Nqobile, a good morning to you. Quite the day ahead for the police minister. What's expected to take place? And what are you hearing from the community about their particular needs from the police, for the police minister?
Well, yes, it's going to be a hectic day indeed, my lady. What we know at the moment is that the minister has already arrived. Of course, he was not alone. He was with the MEC of Community Safety. Faith Mazlugo is also here. We've seen the Deputy Commissioner of the province in terms of the police, and we've seen the Commissioner as well going up with the minister. We understand at this very point that they are going to be in a briefing where they'll be able to unpack, of course, what's happening in the south in terms of all the issues that they are faced with. But what we know so far from the community that we have engaged in is that there's quite a lot of crime that they're worried about. In fact, we know that some of the areas here are struggling with getting police visibility, so they want police visibility. We also know that some of the hostels here have also already spoken about the fact that there are kids also that goes missing, which is some of the things that they want to highlight. We understand at this point there's a little one in the south that's currently being looking for, but they haven't found that person. We know that this engagement is supposed to be between Izinduna, Makosi, as well as the minister, to also outline. You will remember that it's important to have leadership in the community, also one that is able to engage with the people in their spaces, in their comfortable zone, and that's where these traditional leaders come in, when they understand the tradition and the culture in terms of how the community is engaged. So we understand that this is supposed to outline some of those issues. You will remember that earlier on also there was an issue around hostels. The way people live in those areas has also been in the highlights. So those are some of the engagements that they'll be talking about. But we know at this point, having seen what happened yesterday in Nqobile Park, that police visibility is at the top at this very point. We know that quite a lot of communities around also want more police, so more boots on the ground. We know that they need more vans, and we know that these are some of the things that were highlighted in Nqobile and they have asked for. So we understand that Soweto is also going to be looking at that. But just to bear that in mind, you will remember that the south was also affected by illegal mining at some point, which even ended up with some of the communities clashing. You will remember that this also marks a couple of years later when one of the people that were fighting against the illegal connection of power in Soweto had passed away, Diale. So communities still feeling very strong about communities being secured and being supported by the police. So those are some of the things that are going to be unpacked here. But of course, we're still engaging with community leaders, and we'll hear from them exactly their pointers, but roughly that's where they're going to be looking at.
Nqobile, before I let you go, I mean, I'm quite interested in this idea of, I suppose, giving more energy behind community policing forums. I mean, what are you hearing about just how successful CPFs have been in Soweto?
Well, we know that CPF Naledi has always been active in Soweto. There's been quite a lot of things. I mean, some of the people that we have engaged with in the past, the likes of Obabundlobu, who have been working on the ground, many of what they've been affected for, they will tell you that it starts from petty crime all the way to the crime like you've seen issues where people would even have their houses stolen from them, where people will just come in and start living in your own space. So these are some of the things that they worry about. But also from petty crime, you understand that a lot of them have to walk around the community at night, ensuring that they're carrying torches and ensuring that community is safe. So CPF being one of those people that are majorly part of that leadership. But today we know specifically that this engagement is between Amakhosi as well as Induna and the minister. So we will find out, of course, from the police in terms of when they are going to include CPF. But we know that in Soweto there's quite a lot that the CPF has done. If you just go back even in the times of Khomotso Diale, if you go back to the unrest, you will remember that CPF was even on the ground at that time assisting people. So there is a huge role that is played by CPF, but we will hear, of course, from the minister in terms of why the great focus in just is Induna and Amakhosi.
All right, let's leave it there. Of course, Nqobile Madlala keeping a close eye on that story.